Hello and a very good morning. You're watching First Up here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal and our top focus this Thursday morning is the mega Vikas push in poll-bound Uttar Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be in his constituency of Varanasi today. The Prime Minister will be inaugurating a slew of projects in the holy city worth over 870 crore rupees. Among them, will be laying the foundation stone for the Banas Dairy Sankul in Kashi. Spread across 30 acres of land, this dairy will be built at a cost of a whopping 450 crore rupees and will have a facility for processing 5 lakh litres of milk per day. Prime Minister Modi will also transfer a bonus of about 35 crore rupees to bank accounts of more than 1.7 lakh milk producers associated with the Banas dairy. The Prime Minister, besides that, will also be distributing rural residential rights records to over 20 lakh residents of Uttar Pradesh. Remember that this is the Prime Minister's second visit to Varanasi in a matter of 10 days. Last week, he inaugurated the first phase of the Kashi Vishwanath corridor. This was on December 13th. The threat of the super mutant Omicron variant has raised serious alarms. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is today going to be chairing a key review meet as Omicron cases have crossed the 200 mark. The centre also issued directives to states to step up measures to contain the Omicron spread. The government has advised to set up war rooms, to impose night curfews if needed, and to carry out door-to-door contact tracing and searches. The centre has also asked states to enforce home isolation and to accelerate measures to ensure 100% vaccination. Delhi, which has also registered 57 Omicron cases, has imposed new restrictions, particularly for the holiday season. The Delhi Disaster Management Authority will chair another meeting to strategize on curbing the virus spread. Restrictions are also in place in Maharashtra, where 65 Omicron cases have been registered. The Karnataka government has also imposed a ban on mass gatherings. Restaurants and bars will only be allowed to function with 50% capacity. No special events or DJ parties are allowed across Karnataka. Goa, meanwhile, has imposed Section 144, which prevents the gatherings of more than 3 people. The state government has also been asking people to adhere to all social distancing norms, to wear masks at all times.
A super mutant variant, another looming COVID wave, steadily climbing tally. A concerned government is now stepping up the Omicron fight. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is to hold a big review meeting on Thursday. The centre has also issued directives to states to step up measures to contain the Omicron spread, advising states to set up war rooms, impose night curfews if needed, and carry out door-to-door contact tracing and searches. The centre has also asked states to enforce home isolation and accelerate measures to ensure 100% vaccination. Delhi Disaster Management has banned all kinds of functions in view of Christmas and New Year. While parties themselves are banned, strangely, 200 people are being allowed to attend marriages and other such functions at the same time. The Delhi government has also imposed curbs on large gatherings and restricted seating capacity in restaurants to 50%. These curbs will remain in place till the end of the year.
Due to the rising Omicron cases, the DDMA has extended its pre-implemented COVID curbs till the 31st of December, due to which restaurants will still have to operate at a 50% capacity and large gatherings continue to be prohibited along with all religious gatherings.
Restrictions have also been imposed in Mumbai, where parties on terraces and beaches have been banned. However, Mumbaikars will be allowed to hold indoor parties with 50% capacity. Gatherings with 25% capacity are allowed in open areas. Special approval will also be required for a gathering of over 1,000 people.
BMC officials is also saying that it is keeping an eye on the situation. If continuous rise in the Omicron cases are there in the city, then more stricter curbs can be applied.
The Karnataka government, meanwhile, has also imposed a ban on mass gatherings. Restaurants and bars will only be allowed to function with a 50% customer capacity. No special events or DJ parties are being allowed anywhere in the state of Karnataka. Tourists who've been flocking to Goa in the holiday season will face an imposition of Section 144, which prevents gatherings of more than 3 people. The state government has also been asking people to adhere to social distancing norms and wear masks at all times. Many of these rules across cities and tourist destinations in the country could intensify in the days ahead. India Today will keep you updated. Bureau Report, India Today.
So there's a big debate right now raging over booster shots. Should India start giving booster shots, particularly to healthcare workers, a vulnerable population right now? Or should the priority remain, as the government says, 2-dose coverage for all adult Indians? In the middle of this raging debate, there's a big political fight that's erupted, with Rahul Gandhi now coming out to question India's vaccine policy. The centre has maintained on its part that the need, timing and nature of booster dose will be based on scientific consensus and not on politics. The Omicron variant is spreading fast, making even fully vaccinated vulnerable, making breakthrough infection increasingly common. While fully vaccinated, healthy individuals can still count on evading hospitalization due to Omicron, the demand for a booster dose for enhanced protection is gaining momentum. The Congress has asked the government to ensure booster vaccination, with party MP Rahul Gandhi stressing on the need. Rahul claimed that India will fail to meet the 60% vax coverage target by December and will end up with just 42% full vaccination.
Of course, everyone knows it spreads much faster than Delta variant, but it's not clear on how severe it is. The current vaccines are not necessarily working with this variant. So we have to be careful on how we are thinking about vaccinating, and also get ready to accept that we might have to vaccinate everybody else again for this variant with a new booster.
Why is the government taking so long to come up with an official stance? Are they for booster doses? Are they for vaccines for children? Yes or no? Why are they taking so long?
The government has accused the opposition of spreading misinformation on vaccines. Many states have already mounted a demand for booster COVID vaccinations, especially states which are on the verge of meeting full vaccination targets.
हम चाहते हैं कि अब बूस्टर डोज अलाउ की जाए। इस बारे में केंद्र सरकार परमिशन देता है, तो मेरी केंद्र सरकार से निवेदन है कि जो लोग 2 डोज ले चुके हैं उनको बूस्टर डोज देने की इजाज़त दी जाए।
मैंने बूस्टर डोज के लिए सबसे पहले आवाज़ उठाई देश के अंदर कि बूस्टर डोज का टाइम आ गया। आज 9 महीने हो गए, 7 भर हो गया फर्स्ट डोज लगे हुए। जो बीमार है 60+ उम्र के हैं, ये बीमार है, उन सबके प्रायोरिटी में बूस्टर डोज लगनी चाहिए। अभी कोई स्कीम नहीं है भारत सरकार, योजना में नहीं।
The government on its part has indicated that vaccinating all with 2 doses remains its priority, awaiting expert views on a possible booster.
As we have said, and as the Honourable Health Minister Sahab has said in the Parliament, the need and the timing and the nature of boosting, if any, will be based on scientific decisions, scientific thinking, and that is what the government is engaged with.
The opposition also questioned political rallies being organised despite the Omicron threat.
हमने सेकेंड वेव भी देखा था, देश में इतनी बुरी तरीके से फैला था, उससे कुछ सीख कर पॉलिटिकल रैलीज इन सब पे किसी तरीके का नियंत्रण लाया जाएगा।
अभी यूपी का चुनाव है, बड़ी रैलियां करना है, लोग मरे तो मरे, राम का मरे, रहीम का मरे, मोदी की वोट बैंक भरे।
Amid forecasts of a spike in the number of COVID cases, there's renewed interest in the booster shot for those already vaccinated. Private hospitals are flooded with requests for the booster dose, following reports that boosters are being administered abroad. Bureau Report, India Today. Let's get you some political stories this morning. After infighting in Punjab, the Congress is facing a revolt in Uttarakhand as well. A trusted aide of the Gandhi, someone who essentially was firefighting the Punjab crisis for them, Harish Rawat, in a series of rather cryptic tweets, has expressed his disenchantment over the party leadership. He says that his hands and feet are tied, and his tweet has ignited huge political fireworks.
After Punjab, unrest in the troubled Congress has spread to Uttarakhand. And it's none other than the party's most prominent face in Uttarakhand, who is raising concerns on unity in the party, months ahead of assembly polls. Former Uttarakhand CM and trusted aide of the Gandhis, Harish Rawat, has expressed disenchantment in a series of tweets. He said that, and I quote, "Isn't it strange? We have to swim in the sea of elections. But instead of supporting me, the organization has either turned its back on me or is playing a negative role. Those whom I am supposed to follow, their people have tied my hands and feet. I have been thinking, it's gone too far. You have done enough. It's time to rest. I am confident that Lord Shiva will show me the way." Harish Rawat's close advisor was far more direct in red flagging the infighting in Uttarakhand unit.
राहुल जी जो हम सबके नेता हैं, उनकी रैली में हरीश रावत जी के पोस्टर होल्डिंग हटाए जाते हों, यदि मंच से राज्य आंदोलनकारियों को मंच से उतारा जाता हो और वो भी देवेंद्र यादव की उपस्थिति में, जो कि हमारे प्रभारी हैं, निश्चित रूप से प्रभारी जी की भूमिका भी संदेह में है।
Captain Amrinder Singh, who had to unceremoniously leave the party and had blamed Rawat, among others, for the exit, showed little sympathy for the Congress veteran. In a biting tweet, Amrinder said, "You reap what you sow, and all the best for your future endeavours, if there are any." If his tweet was seen as a hint that he was quitting, Harish Rawat did not try to douse the speculations.
आपको बुलाएंगे, आपसे शेयर करेंगे। आप इस समय आनंद लीजिए।
As expected, the Congress maintained that all is well within the party in the hill state.
उनका ध्येय, उनका अनुभव, उनका संघर्ष, उनकी तपस्या एक ही तरफ इशारा कर रही है कि ये 3 मुख्यमंत्री वाली सरकार को रवाना करके कांग्रेस की सरकार को उत्तराखंड में स्थापित किया जाए।
The BJP saw an opportunity to attack as the Congress High Command was faced with another implosion.
हरीश रावत जी जो बात कह रहे हैं, निश्चित है कि अंदर कुछ न कुछ है। पंजाब में गए तो वहाँ क्या हाल हुआ, दो फाड़ हो गई। कैप्टन अमरिंदर सिंह जी अलग हो गए, अपनी पार्टी बना गए। हो सकता है वहीं से कुछ सीख के आए होंगे तो वहाँ भी वही स्थिति होगी।
Until recently, Harish Rawat was the party's chief negotiator in Punjab, trying to resolve a dragging war between Amrinder Singh and Navjot Singh Sidhu. Ironically, the troubleshooter is now claiming to be a victim himself of a feud within the party. Bureau Report, India Today. Co-presented by Berger Paints. Paint your imagination.
Days after Congress leader Navjot Singh Sidhu's call to publicly hang those found guilty of sacrilege, Akali Dal chief Sukesh Singh Badal contended that the former had no right to say anything on the issue. With mere months left for the Punjab Assembly elections, the two leaders have reportedly been at loggerheads over a number of issues.
In the shadow of the cold-blooded murder of 2 men over alleged religious sacrilege, the Congress's Punjab chief sent shockwaves by making this murderous call for vigilante justice.
मैं नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू पुत्र सरदार भगवंत सिंह सिद्धू स्वतंत्रता सेनानी ऐलान करदा कि अगर किते भी बेअदबी होवे, चाहे कुरान शरीफ दी होवे, चाहे भगवत गीता दी होवे, चाहे गुरु ग्रंथ साहब दी होवे, सामने लोकां दे लिया के फाहा ला देना चाहिए। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दी सब तो वड्डी सजा देनी चाहिए।
The sentiments and compulsions of poll-bound Punjab moving a readily melodramatic Sidhu to cross a frightening line. But now, the Congress's bitter rivals in the state have used Sidhu's bloodthirsty tirade to corner the Gandhis.
Mental Sidhu ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਬੇਅਦਬੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫਾਂਸੀ ਲੱਗਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਮੈਂਟਲ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਗਾਂਧੀ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਫਾਂਸੀ ਦੇ, ਜਿਹਨੇ ਟੈਂਕਾਂ ਤੋਪਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਹਮਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ। जे हिम्मत है तो बयान दे कि गांधी परिवार नूं फांसी होनी चाहिए।
What Sukhbir Badal has done is invoke the oldest wound in Sikh pride, 1984's Operation Blue Star. Then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's military storming the Golden Temple that was being held under siege by firebrand preacher Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. Blue Star had set off a terrible chain of events. First, the assassination of Prime Minister Indira, and then the horrific anti-Sikh massacre in the days that followed. But it is the sacrilege of Harmandir Sahib during Blue Star that Sidhu is now being battered with. In the wake of the two sacrilege-linked murders in Amritsar and Kapurthala, Sidhu was quick to pounce with his shameful call for summary executions, playing to the gallery of huge numbers of Sikhs at an emotional peak over what happened. The weapon being turned on the Congress party and its high-voltage state chief is one that spans nearly 4 decades, from 1984 to 2021. Sidhu, who prefers his brand of shoot and scoot politics, will unlikely return fire on this embarrassing missile from the Badals. But given his recent rise has only been thanks to Gandhi siblings, it remains to be seen if he comes under pressure to defend an escalating narrative. Bureau Report, India Today.
There's been a big twist in the 200 crore Sukesh Chandrasekhar extortion case. Actor Nora Fatehi, who was grilled over her connection with the conman, has now been named a witness in the case. Nora was under the scanner for receiving a BMW from Sukesh.
Bollywood Congate has taken a fresh twist. Dancing diva Nora Fatehi, who was linked to conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar in the 200 crore rupees extortion scam, will now turn witness. The Enforcement Directorate has officially named the actor. The probe will now see Nora versus Sukesh unfold. The Bollywood diva has been questioned several times by the ED over her links to super chor Sukesh and the gifts he showered on her. Nora was gifted a BMW car and an iPhone by Sukesh for attending an event in Chennai for his partner Leena Paulos, who is also an accused in the case. Sensational WhatsApp chats accessed exclusively by India Today exposed the close ties between Nora and Sukesh. The chats show the mastermind and Nora discuss luxury cars. It shows Sukesh told her that the gifts are being lavished on her because he liked her as a person. Nora, in her statement to ED, claims she received luxury gifts, including a Gucci bag and an iPhone 12 from LS Corporation, a company she attended an event for, and not from Sukesh directly. The elaborate multi-crore scam that swindled a billionaire businessman of 200 crore rupees is turning out to be suspense thriller like no other. Bureau Report, India Today.
Welcome back. Let's get you a report on the top food trends that ruled 2021. What people consumed this year was heavily dominated by staying home through the lockdown and also work from home routines. From filling up that void to eating healthy, it was a bit of a mixed bag, and we break down the top food trends for you.
When it comes to food, it means different things to different people. Some eat to live, and others live to eat. Whatever be the case, the dominant pattern of 2021 was that of a lockdown and work from home that dictated what people consumed. Let's begin with some strange viral trends. The most perplexing trends of 2021. From a strange idli popsicle to butter chicken golgappa to Fanta Maggie and cringe-worthy Oreo pakoras. These dishes were all slaying social media. One of the COVID symptoms is loss of taste, and perhaps these were experimented when people could not taste anything. Sure, you wonder what happened to people's taste buds in the lockdown. Coming to some real trends that are not here to make you cringe. The top one happened to be Ghar Ka Khana, as many refreshed their cooking skills in the lockdown. One that took over the world was veganism, with health being a major concern on everyone's mind.
Meat and dairy is inflammatory. That's one of the biggest things. It's causing a lot of inflammation in the body. And in the short term, that can impact your athletic performance or even sexual performance. And in the long term, that can lead to some of the chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease.
Slow cooking. Ayurveda proposed this as the best way to get your nutrients from food. And with time on people's hands, 2021 went back to the good old days when your grandma slow-cooked food to give you the best of nutrition. The slow cooker made quite the splash and went flying off the shelves. Google released the Year in Search report, and that saw searches on these 10 dishes that trended globally. First one was birria tacos, followed by nasi goreng and feta pasta that did not excite us that much. Charcuterie board was trending, and when you have a board full of cured meat and cheese, we are thinking some wine, please. Shogayaki made quite the splash. It's marinated pork and ginger. Along with that was teriyaki amberjack, a fish cooked in Japanese teriyaki marinade. Yum! But juxtapose that against potato soup that trended. Perhaps comfort food never goes out of style. And as the Spanish proverb goes, the belly rules the mind. 2021 flipped it on its head and seems like the mind ruled the belly in this rather episodic year. With Chaiti Narula in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.